Hey there, Sinead Dunn here from the Extraordinary Mompreneurs Community, and welcome to the Mompreneur Show, your weekly fill for tips, tricks and inspirations to help you build a successful life and business. And this week we were speaking with the wonderful Mariana Ruiz, and she shared some of her tips with us around outsourcing for her family and for her business. So let's dive in. So Mariana, hi, and thank you so much and welcome to the Mompreneur Show. Could you share a little bit about yourself and your business?
Sure. My name is Mariana. I'm a business coach and I help moms to build profitable businesses online so that they can experience the freedom and success that they desire.
Very good. And this is a big question that comes up for a lot of mothers. How do you manage your work-life balance?
So I basically now I have, a nanny that comes and helps me, and that's been a huge help. But I did not start off that way. When I started, I was working my 9-to-5 job. I was just doing my business on the side before work and after work, like into the wee hours of the night, and then breastfeeding my son. So I did not start off the way that I am now. And so one of the things that I do is I think about what I'm doing in my business as just a season. Just like when you're raising your kids, there's a season where it's a little harder, right? When they're toddlers and they're talking back to you. But that season does go away and it eases back up, right? So that's one of the things that I do. I just remember that it's only temporary until I reach certain goals and I can get more help.
Yeah, perfect. So when you say you get help, so you have a childminder?
Yes. Here in the States we call it a nanny, but she comes to my house and helps me several days a week so that I can work. Now I work from home. So at first I was building my business while working full time. And then my daughter got sick and I had to come home before I was ready, before I was financially ready to be full-time in my business. But I had to do it for my daughter. She was just so ill. So I was taking care of my daughter with special needs, and at that time it was 2 kids under 2 while working from home, no help, no family. We are totally isolated from our family. So another season that was pretty rough, right? But I just persisted and persevered and continued to work on my business because I knew that building my business was what would eventually give me the freedom I needed. And building that life that I desired, which was having a nanny to help me so that I could get a little bit more work done. So yes, I have a nanny that comes to the house and she helps me with the kids. She'll cook and do some light cleaning in the house as well. And then I do have a team as well. So I don't do everything by myself. I have a programmer that helps me. I have a VA and an online business manager. So again, I really rely on other people to help me in my business, and so that I can focus on the things that I'm better at and that only I can do.
Perfect. And so when your nanny comes over, so can you just kind of share a few tips about what way you schedule in your time then while the nanny's there?
Yeah, sure. So I mostly do interviews like this, and I do all of my client calls either when she's here or in the evenings. My husband's schedule is kind of up and down, so sometimes he's here in the evenings, but sometimes he's not. And so if he's not, I'll take client calls in the evening as well. And basically when she's here, I'm doing money-making activities, which is getting the word out about my business, such as, interviews, like what we're doing today. I have a podcast, so I'm recording interviews for my podcast. Writing content and creating content, and I do the creation of the content, and then I delegate everything else to my team. So that's another trick, is there are things that I don't need to do. I don't need to actually put it in WordPress and like format it, because that's the same thing every week. I don't need to create the image because the images are the same every week. So there are systems that you can set up and, train your staff to help you along the way so that you're not doing that stuff. Because I mean, that alone is probably like 3 or 4 hours a week. And that adds up pretty quickly, especially if you're going back and forth between Facebook, right? Like, I feel like the VAs I have are pretty, really time efficient compared to me doing it and like fumbling around with it and deciding to totally change the images this week.
Totally. So if you could give yourself one piece of advice, if you were like to be able to go back and tell the Mariana that is starting off, what would that tip be? The mistakes that they've learned along the journey?
I think my biggest lesson has been to do one-on-one connections. So when I started, I wanted it to be like me talking to millions, right? And that's not how it is when you're starting out, first of all, right? And so second of all, your content will convert so much better if you're talking to one person. So get really, really clear on who that ideal client is and talk directly to them. And then number 2 is like, it's okay for you to do a lot of one-on-one outreach. Like, I do connection calls. Me and you have had connection calls in the past, right? Yeah. And we're just building relationships. It's, neither one of us is trying to sell anything to anyone. Like, we're collaborating and working together, and we're just building relationships, because the thing is, you never know where those connection calls will take you. So getting on the phone, and you're building your business and your network one person at a time. So remember that they are a person, they have needs, they have stuff going on in their life and business, and being, flexible and loving towards others.
Yeah, that I think that is so true. The connecting bit is really, really important. I know I struggled at the beginning because you're trying to juggle everything, and you're saying to yourself, okay, like, do I really want to be spending time like doing things for free? But on the other hand, as you said, you don't know where them connections are going to lead to, because I've made so many online friends. It's like all over the world, and I've done so many collaborations with them, and they've helped me out and I've helped them out. So down the road, it can turn into be something really, really big for yourself. So connections is really, really important. 100% agree. Yeah. Another big question comes up as well is mommy guilt. I mean, I know you suffer with it, but do you have any tips around how you deal with it?
Yeah, so I almost feel guilty that I don't have as much mommy guilt as I probably should. Because one of my things is like, I just remember that I'm such a better mom if I take time for myself, if I take time for my business, and if I remember to be present in all of the situations in my life. So like, if I'm with my kids, I'm with my kids 100%. I'm not thinking about guilt feelings about not being working in my business. And if I'm with my kids, I try to focus on, or if I'm working on my business, it's the same thing. I'm focusing 100% on like figuring out the problems that I need to do, or being with the client, being with the person I'm trying to be with, not on what might happen later with my kids or feeling like I should be with them. So I think like the best way to help you if you're having mommy guilt is just to try to be present in the moment. And one of the ways that you can practice this, and it's seriously is a practice, is meditation. I've been doing it for over 9 years now. So it's not something that I one day woke up and I was like, I'm going to be this amazing person that just stays in the moment. And I have periods, right, where it's very stressful and I do struggle with it. But it's a practice and something that you cultivate in yourself every single day.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing that I learned. I've been a mother of 5 over the years. I've learned, is to be present with each child individually. and you sleep better at night when you when you give them the time that they need, and then you can give your business the time that it needs as well. Can we discuss as well a little bit outsourcing, because I know that you say you have a great team, and this is another area that a lot of mothers struggle with. So could you give us a few tips around how you managed to do this?
Yeah, sure. So I hired my first VA before I was ready. And that was the best decision I've ever made. And every single hire has been slightly before I felt 100% ready. And I think that a few things about that. Number one, you cannot grow if you don't have support. So whatever that looks like. I also have a coach, right? So a coach or VA, all these people. Without support, you literally cannot grow. So you have to take a little bit of a leap of faith, knowing that having help is going to help you to grow. And you might have to do some investing, right? So that's investing in your business. And for me, I have never experienced an investment in a person to help me that has gone bad. I have regretted other investments in my business, right? Like other, programs and stuff like that. But in people, you can never invest poorly in people. Obviously, you want to do your research. You want to hire based on their strengths, their talents, and make sure that they complement yours. So, if their personality is a lot like you, that's awesome. But it's not always the best to form a really solid team. You want kind of some variety of what people are good at.
And what do you outsource to your VA? So, what specifically tasks would you give her?
So I create all of my content for social media, for example. And she goes and actually physically posts it in Facebook for me. She actually goes and puts it into my blog for me. I take guest bloggers every Friday, and so she goes in there and manages all of the guest posts for me. So I just approve the topics and the posts, and then she'll enter them, she'll communicate with them, any changes that need to be made, I'm pretty much hands off from that. But doing things like that, I would have never been able to grow as quickly if I wasn't taking on guest bloggers, but that whole guest blogging process takes maybe 4 or 5 hours a week. But it took my blog traffic from 100, 200 visitors a month to I'm at around 1,800 visitors a month. And it's because other people are joining forces with me. They're sharing the post as well, right? So again, it's a combination, a whole system that you want to look at the overall strategy. What is the VA going to help you to get to, and why do you care about those goals? Not just okay, yes, you want to delegate some of the daily things, but you want to think about, what is this daily task really going to get me? Is it going to get me something that I need, or what can I do with those hours, right? For me, posting on Facebook groups, I was just procrastinating on it. I was I cannot get myself to do this every day, and then it would get to 10 o'clock at night, and I'd be okay, well, I'll just post tomorrow. And so I wasn't being consistent. So that's where a team can really help you, because you've created the content. You've already done it. They're just going in and posting it for you. So it helps you to stay consistent. It helps you to grow. Like I said, without being consistent, I would have never been able to grow either. So all of these things, it was trusting that having help would help me, and believing that this was what I needed to do. And then, there is the trial and error. I've hired, I've had VAs that have not worked out. I've had probably about 4 VAs so far, and that's totally normal. It's totally okay. You're not, if you've never done management or, administration before, you may not have had a team in corporate, so you might not know how to hire people, and that's totally okay. And not everybody, will show their true colors in an interview either. So again, it's trusting that, yes, you need to do this, knowing that even if they're not the perfect person, they're going to take some stuff off your plate. It's going to help you at least temporarily. And forgiving yourself and just moving forward if you need to fire that person, if you need to hire somebody else that fits your team a little bit better, just totally stepping into that CEO role.
And do you have your VA full-time or just part-time?
No, she's part-time, and I have a part-time online business manager as well.
Yeah, because this is another thing that's, like, I know that we're kind of, what do we get them to do? Do we need to have different VAs to cover different sections? Because when I speak to clients, that's sort of like, I just don't know what to do and what to delegate them out to, and should I have different VAs to do different things? So it's nice to hear other people's kind of what tactics they use.
Yeah, and I want to say about that, like, don't expect your VA to do, like, everything for you. Like, that's where people, I think, get into really big trouble when they do outsourcing, is, like, they want a VA that can run Facebook ads for them, that can, you know, create a funnel, that can, you know, do everything under the sun. And the reality is, those are all specialties, right? Like, everything to do with my website, my programmer does it, because she's a specialist at that. I created my own website. I had no idea what I was doing. And then from there, she just took the rest, because I ended up getting hacked really bad. So there's always things that there are people that are specialists at this. That's their craft. And so you don't want a general VA to do everything under the sun, but you do want them to do the basic stuff that you need help with. If you have a social media strategy, you can just plug and play and ask them to do it for you.
Yeah.
If you need help around strategy, then there's like social media experts out there for that. But definitely it depends on what you're doing in your business, and definitely be okay with hiring several people that are excellent at what they do versus having one person that puts all the hats on.
Yeah. I made that mistake when I was first starting out hiring a VA as well. I was like thinking that they were going to do everything for me, and then I wasn't, I suppose, good at giving them directions, and I just expect them just to know everything. So I messed up, like yourself. Had a few VAs, didn't work out, and then it kind of put me off wanting to hire one again. But I think if you get strategic at the very beginning and know what you want, plan ahead, I think it would work out so much better. Jumping into things unknown sometimes can cause a few problems, and as I said, then turn you off thinking, okay, it's too much work. But it's not. If you put the time and effort in at the beginning, it'll work out for you. I learned the hard way.
Yeah, and I think, like, when you're starting off, like, literally just go through every step of the process. So I have, like, standard operating procedures for my business. Just like I'm a nurse, right? So, like, we had that for starting an IV. Like, literally, open the package, right? Like, get out the thing, right? Get out the needle. Insert the needle, right? Like, you need to do that kind of thing with your stuff. So literally, it's step 1, log into Facebook. Step 2, open up this group, this page. Step 3, copy from here. This is where you're going to get it. Step 4, paste. And then you want to do a screen flow of it so that they can see what it would look like if they were actually doing it. And then have them do a few test runs, or even, like, I've had people say that they have the person look at everything and then write to them exactly what the steps were, just to make sure they got it. So again, it's you want to train them, you know, just like you said. I made the same mistake with my first VA. I was like, okay, just do it. And it's not like that anymore.
No, not at all. I mean, thank you so much. This has been absolutely wonderful having you here. Where can we find you?
Sure, MarianaRuiz.com.
Brilliant. I will put links down below of your website and your Facebook, because you have a great Facebook group as well. So I'll put the links onto that. So thank you so much, and it was great having you, and bye for now. Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Hey, and thank you so much for watching the videos, and I really hope that you have enjoyed them. I'm super excited to share with you my must-have tools that I use in my business and my life. If you would like me to send them to you, just sign up down below and I will send them to you shortly. And come over and join the community of other success-driven mompreneurs. I will see you next week on the Mompreneur Show.